All right, now the next thing I want to show you is how to do A/B testing in Thrive Leads. And this is actually, I think, one of the strongest areas of Thrive Leads. It really has a very powerful way of doing A/B testing. It's super simple and easy to use. So let me just show you that now. So you go into any one of your lead groups. Let's take this one. And let's just go in and edit the screen fill lightbox form. This is the apple cider vinegar one. And what you want to do first is you want to clone. Click this purple button here to clone your existing form. And once you've done that, it's created an exact copy of it. We're going to go in and edit it. Again, this is using the content builder, so it's a visual editor. So it's very quick and very easy to create another version of this. So I could say something like, I don't know, ACV, weight loss, or let's go ACV for weight loss. So changing the title there, then I'd save it. And all the settings, the connections, all that, they're duplicated, so it's already set up. So then what I would do is I'd go start A/B test here. And it's going to bring up a few options here and the test settings. Just give it a name. It's good to actually put some notes what you're doing here, in case you forget what this was or why you were doing that. And it also has something pretty cool, which I like. It's called automatic winner settings, which I usually enable. And that basically means in case you forget to come back and check the test when it's supposed to be finished, or if you're not checking it regularly, it's automatically going to pick the winner after, well, according to these parameters you set. And the default is after at least 100 conversions, at least 14 days, and at least 95% chance to beat the original, which I think it's worth just leaving these. You need at least 100 conversions to really get any sort of statistical significance on your probability there of it winning. And I think you need at least 7 days. Usually 14 is better. And the reason for that is that weekend traffic or traffic on different days of the week behaves differently. So in health, for example, you get a lot of people who want to take more action on a Monday or a Tuesday than you do on a Friday night, for example, when they're all out partying. So yeah, it's worth bearing that in mind. But I just generally would leave use the default option for that, and click Start Test, and that's it. That test is live. So there's no data yet, obviously, because it hasn't we just started it. But you'll be able to see a daily graph appear here with performance of each conversion rate performance of each version, and you can see all the data in here as well. So yeah, really powerful tool, really powerful part of Thrive Leads that I use a lot, and it's one of these things that I think you should basically always be testing different things. Now, where Thrive Leads really stands out in this regard is in the ability to test different types of opt-ins against each other. So let's say to the main here, and let's turn this on. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to test a lightbox versus a screen filler lightbox. So these are two different types of opt-in forms in the same lead group, but different types of forms. Just click this button here to test types of forms against each other. So let's say lightbox versus screen fill lightbox. Again, you can give this a title. It's good to put some notes in just so you remember what you're testing. You can check back these in future, and let's just keep the same automatic winner settings. Start test, and our test is now launched. So it's exactly the same setup as before. You can see the test currently in progress. We can go into that, and you'll see the same graph. There's not going to be any data, obviously, because we just started it, but it's going to show you the same sort of test screen, and you'll be able to see the results and compare them against each other here. Now, you may have noticed a little gap in the video there where I actually had to sort of pause the recording for, I don't know, 20, 25 seconds as that actually loaded. This is one of the sort of quirks of Drive, which is a bit annoying, to be honest. Some things can be a little bit slow, even on Health Ambition, where we have a dedicated server and a lot of resources. It's not the best, and you'll see when it comes to the report section how bad it can be. But don't worry, it's more than usable for 99% of the things you're going to want to do in it. Now, there's one thing which I do suggest you do when you're creating your first opt-in form pop-ups, or designing them at least in Thrive Leads. And it's something I don't normally recommend you do when creating authority sites, and that is copy your competition. So it just really gives you the benefit of all of your competition's testing and experience and whatnot when it comes to opt-in forms. Usually sites who are moderately successful have run some kind of tests on this and have played about with it to some extent. Normally not that much, but it's if you don't know where to start, it's a good place to go. And certainly for the design of the opt-in forms, you can base it on either a template or something that your competitor is doing, or a sort of a mix of both. Quite often I find a competitor's opt-in form and try and modify one of the Thrive templates to look somewhat similar to that to achieve what I'm trying to do. So it's a good place to start. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the actual order in which you're doing your testing. Now, most people, when they learn how easy it is to run tests in Thrive Leads, they will instantly start, doing little tests to try and see if a red button or a blue button is more effective and stuff like that. But really, that's the last thing you want to be testing. The first thing and the most important thing is to start to test the main angle or topic of the forms. So with juicing, our most successful ones is this opt-in form, which gives away some juicing recipes for weight loss. Now, we could have gone with something like what's the best juicer to buy, or juicing recipes for health, or I don't know, 7-day juicing course, or detox juicing, or any of these things. They're quite different. They're all within the topic of juicing, but they're all different topics. So I highly suggest you start by testing different topics. Then once you've established what's the best subtopic, if you will, for your niche, then move on to testing the different types of forms against each other. So this button here to test different types of forms against each other. Again, I recommend screen filler, lightbox, scroll mat, lightbox, and slide in to start with, and play around with that. Then after you've figured out which is the most successful one, go in and test headline variations within that. So if it's juicing recipes for weight loss, you may have something like get these 7 juicing recipes for weight loss, free PDF. And then another one might be a different headline, might be something like discover the secret to weight loss with these 7 juicing recipes. Play around with it like that. Headlines make quite a big difference. And once you've done that, then you can go on to the more detailed sort of testing, playing around with images, colors, titles, countdown timers, all this kind of stuff. And because those things, they don't make that much of a difference. So just bear all that in mind when you're testing, and don't do what most people do, which is start testing the easy stuff first. Like, really think about what your offer is and what your proposition is, and work from there.